Good evening to a few of you. Welcome to today's community briefing. My name is Gregory Sneed, and today is March 24th, 2022. We're glad you joined us today. We've got a special guest today who's going to share a lot of information about being in business, managing business, how to take care of business, how to finance business, and lots of information. So, welcome again. My name is Gregory Sneed, and the name of my company is called Lifesaver Financial Services. I specialize in life insurance, long-term care, final expense. I'm also a financial coach, and I teach financial literacy. The name of my company is Lifesaver Financial Services, and I believe that when you feel better about your money, you feel better about your life. I'll have some information in the chat, and if you'd like to feel better about your money, I can help you out. Not with a loan. I just help you out get your money together. And now it's my pleasure to introduce the queen of our community briefing, Miss Crystal Mitchell.
Good morning, everyone. So happy that you are here. We're excited today because I'm learning a lot about our guest that I had no clue existed. and so it just goes to show you the community briefing is here so you can learn about our leaders and our stakeholders in our community that is really shaping our organizations and our community here in Los Angeles. So I am excited. My name is Crystal Mitchell. I am the co-director of Recycling Black Dollars, as well as I own and operate my own business. I focus on business strategies, bookkeeping and accounting, strategy, and troubleshooting for small business owners. I teach and train entrepreneurial skills and provide tools and mentorship for our small business community. I host another podcast called The Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. We broadcast live every Friday afternoon. We had Michelle on last week and she just killed it. She is celebrating 40 years in the beauty industry. I am just so elated about our community and what we do and how we do it. And that is the purpose of the community briefing. It's powered and sponsored by Recycling Black Dollars and the BBA. And it's here so that we learn how great that we are and the excellence that is represented in our community. And before I turn it over to Ms. Robin, we have a great team: Gregory Sneed, Robin Billups, and Mr. Stephen Turner. But I want to give a huge hand clap and many blessings and prayers for Justice Jackson, Brown Jackson. She went through some stuff this week, but as Black women do, we rise to the occasion and we show you what real excellence is. And I am just so proud of that sister. She did an amazing job because what we saw is representative of what America has become. And she rose above it. She's better sister than I am because I probably would have got up and go slap some folk. And that's probably why I don't sit where she sits. Because I wanted to come through the TV and just demolish some people yesterday. And so that's my spiel for the day. And I want to thank you guys all for coming out. And please, this platform is our platform. So make sure you put your information in the chat and then share, and let's grow our community larger than it is. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Robin Billups.
Hey, greetings today, you guys. I'm really excited. It's Robin Billups with the Billups Group. I work with entrepreneurs and corporations who are looking to solve the problem of how to do business in the corporate America what happens in the procurement process. I'm elated because this is my family that's going to be speaking today, and I'm going to get quiet so Gregory can do the introduction and we can get right into our questioning, because we know Roz has a lot to share, and it's going to curl some folks' hair understanding what her background looks like, because folks have assumed that they know and they really don't know. Gregory.
All right, so it's now my pleasure to introduce our guest, Miss Rosalind Pennington, but she likes to be called Roz. She is the president and CEO of Business Strategy and Tactical Consulting Services. She's based here in Los Angeles. She is going to tell us about her business venture. She's currently the owner of the new townhouse located here in Los Angeles, not far from where I live. She's been involved in business strategy, tactical consulting services. She's been a member of Red River Enterprises, board member of the National Black Business Council, NBBC, and that is a nationwide organization. She is a graduate from the University of Missouri, Columbia.
Easy.
We won't say the year, right? And she also has a certificate of management in entrepreneur development. She hails from the city of St. Louis, and we have somebody in our group that knows a little something, been there once or twice, and might be able to talk to us about St. Louis. I've never been there. I've been to Kansas City. And so now, without further delay, please join me in welcoming Rosalind Pennington, or Miss Roz.
Thank you. Thank you. That was a mouthful as you talked and looked the background. But I guess I wanted to start with, as Robin had asked me to start with my background and coming forward. As he said, I'm from St. Louis, and I went to University of Missouri in Columbia, Mizzou, where there was Robin. But I came out, and that was a predominantly white school, and we had Lincoln up at 20 miles away. But I left Mizzou 3 weeks after I left Mizzou in 75. I came to California and figured I had a degree, I could get a job, and I did. And I've now worked in 30 years in IT engineering, working for the likes of Visa, Pacific Telesis, the LA Times, Digital Island, and I got into the .coms. And fortunately, in the .coms, I made some money, and I had ventured into my dream was always to own a nightclub. I'd said when I retired to own a nightclub. Well, I had met Marianne Mitchell back in '86 when I was in corporate America. And I was in engineering. We were responsible for bringing on subcontractors. I met her, was impressed, and she got business with Pacific Bell for 27 years or so. Until she died, she still had that contract. But she got me involved in the Black Business Association, the BBA, as an individual. And so I was looking at doing what Robin sort of doing, of getting how to get small companies, minority companies into corporate America, what they have to do, how they have to be ready, but bringing them in wherever I went. Wherever I went, Marianne went. I would bring her in as a sub. So we became friends, and she got me into the BBA, which I saw the beauty of that was to do business development. Well, once we did that, I was asked to be a member of the National Black Business Council, where I served. She was the chair, and I served as president. And unfortunately, Marianne died in 2008, but the National Black Business Council was invited to the White House for the signing of the Economic Recovery Act. And so I was invited there, and I got to meet President Obama, and I served on the subcommittee, the Economic Recovery Subcommittee, for 2 years. But Marianne didn't get that benefit because she had died. But we had opened up, the new townhouse, and but I still was working then, still in corporate America, and had the business. And as I say, a dream, that was a dream of mine to do that. And she was looking at when she would retire as well. But sometimes dreams turn into nightmare. And this ended up kind of being a nightmare in that businesses, you don't know what it is, and you may have the goods and service, but you don't have you're not taking care of the business. Now, just the opposite, we were taking care of the business, and like the marketing of it, Townhouse was a success. But I lost Marianne in 1 year after we started. So then I basically had it by myself. And that restaurant bar business is no joke. We had to do that. But one of the things that I did was again, taking care of business. So one of the things that I did was I sought out the resources. Now I'm still in the BBA and then NBBC, and we're talking about things that they do for the development of small business. So I took advantage of those workshops and things they gave, but there I found the business of going into seeking out the help of small business development centers and CDFIs. And I was laughing, telling them that I called Constance last night to say, what is a CDFI? All I know is I used it, and I didn't know what it was. I mean, what the acronym stand for, which is Community Development Financial Institutions. And then there was the Small Business Development Centers. And these are places that, they're nonprofits, but they provide resources to businesses. I don't care what kind of business you're in. They do resources. So it's more than providing small loans, because this is the nonprofit side, but there's a financial side, especially with the center. There's the financial side that'll give you the loans to businesses and things. But what I found is every business needs to be a client. And I got to tell you, I'm a client of everybody I can think of, because getting the resources. But with these places, and especially with the center, they opened up one for restaurants and hospitality, and the training that's there, and for all businesses, they do things like give you accounting training, your insurance, how to set up your business, how to keep your business, and do what I say in BST, which was my company, my consulting company, is take care of the business of the business. So often we have the goods and services, but you don't take care of the business. You know, all your licenses and paying your sales tax, doing your insurance that you carry. You forget about those things or think you can let them wait. And then when they come on you, you can't afford to pay them. So you need to be set up to get financial assistance. These CDFIs and the places like the center, PCR, these guys are Slauson, Vermont Slauson. They offer resources that is so helpful. I can't say it enough. And that's what, as I carry and get more involved, I'm also a member of the board now for the Black Business Association that we just, Skip Cooper is now chairman of the board, and we now have a new board, and Sarah Harris is the president and CEO, and we're getting ready to do some programs. And the briefing is one of the programs that we're offering that we support as well, but to provide the development and information for small businesses. So so in a nutshell, that my heart is geared toward that. But I wanted to just kind of go on the side and tell you, during when I got the company Red River and opened up in 2007, Mary Ann was there for a year. Then after that, I ran it by myself, and then I leased it out, because now I'm getting ready to tell you, as I'm starting in the business of this, because I can't cook. I can dance a little bit, but I can dance a little bit, but that really wasn't it. And I like the customer involvement in places that we let nonprofits come in and have networking sessions and things. We did a lot of that, but the business of it. So I leased it out to a guy with the cork, and for 5 years. And then, so I was satisfied with that. But then all of a sudden, when you stop paying rent, that means you got to go, and I've got to get back in there because I have to keep that going. So I went back in 2018. And so I had 2018, 2019, everything was getting back to the old townhouse. We were getting in and it was good. But then the pandemic hit. On March 20th of 2020, March 15th of 2020, that's the day that would live forever they closed the doors nationwide of everything, especially restaurants was worst hit. So now, so one of the things, again, when you talk about being involved with these CDFIs and places, and you're networking, there are things and opportunities that come up. So there were grants that was made available that you knew through them. I got the information through them to apply. And then but one of the things that I did was you're networking, and I was able to pivot the business. Everything's closed. You don't have people coming in for months before they let you do outside delivery. But I was able to think and say, well, the city ended up serving seniors. So I was able to now go into the bulk cooking, and I was delivering cooking, not me, but cooking 2,500 meals a week. Now, if you want to know the blessing, and I'll tell you, all of this for me, it's the thing of being prepared. But the other thing is doing is just being blessed, and I don't know all of and getting this, because there was a lot of people I'm sure applying, but I got 2,500 meals a week. And if people want to talk about what happened in the pandemic, I came up. If you want, I came up in the pandemic, because at $2,500 in that year, and I had it for a solid year. I grossed over $1 million just from the city in the new business line. And you got to know that consequently, and then I'm saying, and being prepared, the resources and the help and training that I got from, and initially, I got to tell you, I'm not saying it because Constance on here. I'm saying it because it was the center that I was really involved with, and I got got from things from other people of the PCR and that. But one of the things that I got most out of the center was all the training and the networking and being on the front line of these opportunities are coming up. And so you're being prepared. So the city required things like, do you have insurance? You got to have this insurance online. I already had it. And there was, and I ended up getting this opportunity, this last opportunity with the city, the Great Plates, because somebody that they had picked for the 11th district, which the club is in, each district got to pick so many. They didn't have the insurance. So they got dropped out, and I was the next person to come aboard. I had it all. So I was selected. And for 1 year, because from April of 2020 to April of 2021, I had that contract. But consequently, what it did was let me start a new line of business. So I'm closed, but then they didn't open again until 2021 fully, and with all the restrictions. But I'm now on a business that I saw that was bulk cooking. You need less people, less involved. I now no longer have to be with all the people and all the liability that you have with the club. Now I got that, but what I've ended up doing is I lease that part out now. It's still my business, but I lease out the club part, and I'm concentrating on the bulk cooking and bulk cooking. I have another contract that I just bidded on and got, and that was from the city's Parks and Recs. And I sit on the board for the Council for Small Business Advisory Council, which is the council for LAUSD. And I'm now, I got a proposal in place, or I'm answering an RFP to provide some of their cooking meals that they need. I'm now focusing on that business as my second line of business of doing that. Now I still have the townhouse, and but I'm leasing that out. And again, I'm here to tell you about focusing on the business of the business, because it'll make you, and taking care of that, it'll make you ready to be able to pivot, to change your mind, because you can go along the whole plan, and then in the middle of the road you turn, but you need to kind of be prepared for those things. And that's, once again, taking care of the business of the business. I'm actually the poster child for the SBA. I should be a poster child for the SBA, because I've got for them, like, and actually for the, like, the loans, grants, grants out of there. I got to apply. I applied for each, and first time, and them being ready to apply, because when they ran out of money the first time on the EIDL, I was in the first piece. They gave it to all those people, but because I had applied, I was ready and right on time and provided all the docs. I was in the first one to get that first 150,000 out of there. So I can't say enough about taking care of the business and utilizing these all of these nonprofit small development SBDCs and the CDFIs. I can't say enough about them, because I utilize them for everything. If I think there might be a problem or some training or something that I need, I've taken the online courses. So it's just, you guys can ask me some questions, because
I'm about to jump in. Roz, thank you. You know what? I've walked this walk with you, and it makes me so very proud to hear you talk about the fact that being ready, so you don't have to get ready, right? And as you needed to pivot, you're able to pivot. And every one of the steps that you made, you spoke to the fact that you've spent your time acquiring marketable skills so that you're prepared for the opportunity that comes up, or you may be able to identify some opportunities that come up. So thank you. And then the other thing I want to thank you for, we have some individuals who dialed in today that we haven't seen on our program, but I know for a fact, because it's you that's talking, they're here today, especially Dr. Gordon, Pruitt, and those two in particular. So again, thank you. But can you again illuminate the fact that these resources that you're talking about, I always talk to my clients about professional development, setting aside time so that you're actually doing professional development. And professional development is that training that you talk about. Speak to that a little bit more.
When you can, if you don't prepare, if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. And my thing is the training that's developed. We all think that in a small business, it requires you to be there. I mean, you've got to be there, because you got to get involved, hands-on, and do any job, but that you need to be there. But you need to set aside the time when the BBA comes up with workshops, conferences. Go. Because they do things with access to capital, and they're telling you what you need to be able to do that. When the center gives they have online training, they have one-on-one consultation. Take it. When the SBA sitting with all the programs that they have, the 8A program, the training that you have, I've taken, and a lot of this is online.
Yeah.
But forget online, you can get consultation, you can call, and I've seen Emma go from Golden State to SBA, and the same kind of job commitment, where if you come and you get Emma's sitting there, she can't even cut off her computer to come out with us to eat, because she's sitting there servicing a customer. Yeah. To talk about all the things that are there. You got to take, I can't say enough. There are people and resources at these places that can really help you, but businesses don't want to take the time to do it. It will help you in the long run.
And Roz, to your point, I think what the critical piece is this: you do that prior to having a need versus waiting till there's a crisis, right? Here again, week after week after week after week after week, we're on this community briefing with individuals such as yourself, Emma, Constance, PCR, Vermont Slauson, the city of LA. We are bringing in these individuals in order for folks to know that the resources are out there. So again, Thank you for that. I'm going to ask Crystal if she wants to jump in and throw in some questions as well, because she's a multitask business owner as well.
I am just, you don't need to cook, Rosalind, because that I think is some of the hindrance for business owners that are in the restaurant business. They're so busy of concentrating on the menu and making sure the product gets to the customer that they can't operate and function and run the business. And so I take my hat off to you, because there are a number of Black-owned businesses in Los Angeles that are doing exceptionally well because they kind of follow your pathway. They have that business mindset. And that's what really helps promote their business in good times and bad times. I have loved the townhouse because I did a lot of partying in that back room.
Do that too.
And on Sunday afternoons. So it is, and I did notice the difference between how the business was being run when it was prior to 2018. And I could tell immediately when it changed over. And so if I could tell that, I'm sure many of your other customers could as well. So, and thank you for promoting how business or the organizations in our community are there to help you as business owners. And you guys need to take advantage of it. Look what has happened here. If you are tapped in to the resources that are here in this community, and that's all of them, Vermont Slauson, PCR, the center, all of them are there. That's our sole purpose. Yeah. Right. That is why we are there as business coaches and consultants. I consult with all the organizations in addition to my own, because I love my community. And so, Roz, I just want more a comment is to commend you for the excellence that you have provided in our community. Because how long has the townhouse been around?
Townhouse has been around since '85. But I've owned it since 2007. And I want to promote the townhouse because I still get money from the townhouse. So, and I'm still there promoting things for it to be the #1 club.
Well, and Roz, the other thing is too, which, when with your, because we've had these conversations with your pivot and looking at your staff, right? You more recently, you hired somebody to manage the kitchen. You hired somebody, like you said, you're leasing out the club space. Can you talk a little bit about how you've kind of repositioning the use of that, especially when COVID hit and folks needed a place where they could hold their repasses and they could hold their anniversary party? Talk a little bit about those kinds of opportunities.
Well, you see that's in what I call the bulk cooking line of business. When you're doing the repasses, people needed that, but during COVID, you were restricted on that as well for a while, because you couldn't even let so many people in. Then they bit by bit they let people come in. Now with the staff, so what you had a cooking staff. I got to keep my cooking staff because I pivoted to bulk cooking. So bulk cooking, and so we were cooking that every day. When we got to do repass, this is a no-brainer. And one of the things that the townhouse is known for is cooking. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's food. So once you kept that staff, but then the wait staff, you didn't have it. So what you did was, I needed them to package all the stuff. 2,500 meals a week. That's 1,250 2 days that they got to pack. And first we pack it, and then we store it, and then we bring it back out, put it in boxes for the cabs to pick up. So I was able to bring back over 50% of my staff that I had. I started with 22 people. I was able to bring back 10 of those that worked, and then I hired a couple of more. And then again, with all the monies that was coming, the PPP, tremendous. That paid them for a couple of months. Paid them for a couple of months twice, and then so you had that help, but you being able to bring people back and position what they wanted to do. Now I ran into a problem because when they first brought this out, that unemployment was more than anything. The people, they were thinking they didn't want to come back because they were getting unemployment. But guess what? My people were part-time people anyway. So they actually could work up to 20 hours and get the unemployment. So they got that bonus piece of that. And it wasn't, they realized that, but I wasn't hiring anybody. Like then I hired new people. So I already had my limit, but they hadn't realized that they could get that unemployment, especially with the bonus on there, and work 20 hours for me.
Exactly.
So it's you just have to repurpose them, and those that wanted to work could work, and they're still there today. Because see, they came back when you got back in. Of course, they wanted to go back to be a bartender or a server because they wanted tips.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Greg?
Yeah, I just want to say that I pulled up your townhouse website, and I looked at this picture right away. I'm ready to go over there right now. Right after this show can't end fast enough. I get a burger looking like that.
That's the turkey burger, and Joe Razan came over for, I think it was Leon's birthday, and he came up to me. He said, "Roz," he said, that's the best turkey burger I've ever had." He said, "I'm not kidding." And since you showed that, that's what made me think about him. He's not normally over there. He just came because our general manager's birthday. He said, "That's the best turkey burger I ever had." Wow. We have some cooks.
I'm finna go get that turkey burger as soon as we finish, because that whoever took that picture, it looks pretty wonderful. So I just want to share that real quick.
Roz, how many people with your original staff? How many people did you have? And then you said you had like 22.
I had 22 pre-pandemic, and then I went down to 12, and then now they're back up to like 22.
Good.
And then seeing things that you need to know in business. See, in the business, for your workers' comp, that's very expensive. So you need to know all the bills, but that's very expensive. But it's cheaper when I only have 2 full-time people. The other are part-time. That's a difference on your workers' comp money of what you're spending to have part-time people versus full-time people. And you need to know those kind of things. Now they bring in the law in. I just got a notice. If you got 5 or more people, you've got to carry the insurance for them. See, with part-time people, I didn't have to carry insurance. I didn't have to carry their medical insurance for part-time people. But now they're coming out, I think it's in June or something, you're gonna have, if you got 5 or more, you have to carry a medical insurance. You have to pay part of their medical.
Roz, a lot of the retail business owners are having problems finding employees. Have you, during this great resignation, have you found that to be an issue for yourself as well? And how are you handling that?
Definitely a problem, but then now again, going back to the resources, see, there's work source centers that is out here that actually, in some cases, they are paying part of they pay part of the salary for a couple of months. They call it on-the-job training. Find those, because you do have people that want to work, so they're signing up with them. And for me, for hospitality, so I'm finding that I'm having to hire some people with no experience. So you're showing them how to do this job out there, but it's hard. But then you got some people, like there's a restaurant that just opened that they get all this publicity over on Adams. It's called Alta. They getting that. They just put out on their website that they're paying for these workers that work in the hospitality industry. They have to do minimum wage, which right now is $15. In June is going back up another $1, but they get $15 an hour because they get tips. They're offering jobs from $20 to $25 an hour. They put it on their website for bartenders and servers. And now they looking for cooks. That's what's hard. Everybody want to be a bartender, so you can cheat better as a bartender.
But
and get the tips. And get the tips. But they for servers and cooks, they're advertising from $20 to $25 an hour.
One of the issues, though, in the research that I've done, and I've spoken to a number, last week I had an HR consultant on, the community briefing, it's not really about the money that people are having issues with. It's about the working environments, that the company culture that they're having and not being respected and in their workplace. You know, they're helping the owners make money, but at the same time, they're being treated like they're stepchildren. And so it's really, I don't know if it's necessarily the money. It's really about how can you as a business owner maintain your staff and keep them happy and keep them engaged in your business.
I'm telling you, it's hard, and especially in that environment and in a club environment, for what they're exposed to. Now they've got to be there, and you've got the pressures of customers, but from a management standpoint, one of the things that I do is I offer other incentives, and I got to think that not because of anything else, the people want to they want to work for me. I give incentives. I make them feel I do some extra stuff, and then I have an HR person, and a lot of times people don't want to do that. I have a person in HR that keeps me straight on what managers and what we can and can't do, how we say or don't say things. You need that person in there, because like some of the HR rules, and she stays on top of that. I have a payroll system with ADP, but any of the new HR rules and things that come out, she's on top of it, and she makes sure that they have a voice she's the go-between them and me, or them and the managers, then me. They know they have an escalation path. So people right now, like they come and like those that went and worked for Cartwright, they quit. When I came back in there, I want to come back and work for you. You have to create that kind of environment, and it's hard. And I always I'm at the buck stops with me. So that's as high as you can get. But I put layers in there to let them know that they can, if your manager, you think your manager's wrong, or your manager writes you up, you can write your manager up.
Mm-hmm.
And get to HR. Shirley's that hammer and that in between for me, that I don't know how I would have managed. Like when you talk about people, I don't know how I would manage without it. And then you have some of the incentives, but you've got to make them feel that that their job is worth it. I don't care if they're the dishwasher, that they've got an important job for the place.
Roz, it seems to me from what and I know you, and I'm hearing this and you're sharing this, your experience working, as we always talk, we've had a W-2 since we was 14 years old. We were selling stuff and running errands and making money. But what I'm hearing from you is you've taken your corporate experience and pushed it into your entrepreneurial experience, over and above the fact that your corporate experience also had professional development training and what have you. You're using those same skills in an entrepreneurial environment. Speak to that.
I think that's necessary, and you'll hear people, and especially on my staff, they'll be Roz bringing that corporate stuff in here. I told them that, and especially like with Shirley, they said she's bringing that in here, and they respect that fact that you're doing that. That like that, because you're talking about, again, having a place to go, the training, and you talk about training again. I'm gonna bring up these CDFIs and stuff again. I've had training. I've been able to send my people to training to get certified for the working in the kitchen. The Board of Health requires it. You have to have the serve safe. They get. I paid them for the day and got the training free from the center to do. To send them to training, and they got a certification that they could use anywhere for 5 years, and it's just not good there. So, like I think there are some things from corporate that you got to bring in there. You feel like you got 4 or 5 people or 10 people, you can talk to them like they crazy. You can't. You can't talk to them like they're crazy. So you bring those corporate rules in, and along with the training, you bring that with them. And I'm telling you, you got some people that are committed for life.
Yeah. Well, you're building a loyalty, right? Right. It really isn't. And to your point, people see it as corporate training, but it's business ethics, right? It's business practices.
You just made the point.
So your experience came from being a hustler as a kid, right? Going to college, being exposed to that process and dealing with in a major white environment, and then coming into the corporate world and picking up those tools and those skills. But what you're talking about is just business practice.
Yes.
Creating a business.
That's really what, or creating what you thought. See, you had the prejudices in the corporate America and things that wasn't going right. So you're looking now that you have an opportunity to try to right some of that.
Yeah.
And like you're saying, being exposed to, I've been in corporate America and gone to the white school. But the minute I got over there in Pacific Bell, and when I met Mary Ann, through happenstance, and when she said and told me, she says, I said, well, I've given you break fix. You know, I'm in the engineering group. What is it that you want from me? She said, I want a contract.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I want a contract. And when I saw an opportunity to be fair and to get her and Bob to play, like you got to play. And I told her what she needed to play. You needed these financials. You need your business need to be this. I told her what you needed to play. So I gave her the RFP like everybody else. Told her how to play. But my thing was, I need to bring a Black company in here. We don't have one. That's what they could be in the pool of things, and that she was able to do. So I got on this mission of, our people, our community needs to know how to play in the game. So while in corporate America, I was trying to share that, but then as an entrepreneur, I'm trying to share things like Mary Ann and I. We had people that came into the bar. They worked in the bar. Sent them to school, they work in IT today.
Right.
I took them out and they went and worked for her IT company.
Right.
They were young, they wanted to do it, they had the aptitude, sent them to training, got them in the union to pull for low voltage wiring, took them out of this environment and moved them in the other. You just got to be for them. You got to do some things, and that they've got to know that you're for them, and that do the loyalty. And even if it's not for your company, it'll be good for somebody else. Or when they move up, there's only so much you could afford to do. Yeah. So if they can do that and go somewhere else and get more money, you want to let them know that that's there as well. So it's good business practices, Robin. It's not corporate. It's the business practice.
One final question. Talk to us a little bit about, one of the things that I've always talked to Roz about, some of these clubs, one of the ways that they grow their business is that they become the headquarter for a specific team, right? So with the Super Bowl being here, you situated where you are, how did that unfold for you?
Let me just tell you, we are the home for the Raiders.
Okay.
So when y'all came over to go see the Raiders play over there, we have the Raider Nation and the Raider Riders. Mm-hmm. So actually so we have them. So on Raider games, they come in and they brought revenue there. And they weren't real rowdy as everybody say. They were organized and they had some things going. But for the Super Bowl, they hosted the Super Bowl.
Wonderful.
So they hosted the Super Bowl. So they packed the house for Super Bowl. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And it was them, and when we made a deal with them of with the revenue and things like that, they hosted that, and they charged when you could have gone other places and saw it.
Right.
So they made money on that. It is very good to have a team, but it's wonderful to have the Raiders because they come out and in uniform. Yeah. They keep from paraphernalia up, and I got and the other benefit is I'm not a football fan, but I got everything that the Raiders got. Being the owner have benefits. That you have. I got sweatshirts, t-shirts, caps. I got everything. Just been on. They actually put a couple of more TVs in there for me, and they still there.
Oh, one other thing I want you to share is that you do these private parties, and Black celebrities have found out, that that's an excellent space. So talk about that, because I got some crystal that you gave me from one event that you hosted.
We hosted Tina Knowles' 65th birthday party. And of course, everybody who was anybody was there, from Beyonce and Jay-Z, and Jay-Z and Glenn Thurman was their best friend. But Tina comes in there. Celebrities have always come in there, but yeah. Tina and Richard, like they my best friends. Yeah. Tina and Tina, Richard, Glenn, and Joanne.
More perks for being the CEO.
Yeah. But they're good people, though. Those are some good people.
And they good people. See, they come in to dance, and they come in to play cards. Right. Anyway, so when Richard said, Glenn said when they wanted to do the surprise party, he said, we're gonna take her to her favorite dance spot. Mm-hmm. Which was the Townhouse. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was jam-packed, and you couldn't say nothing. You couldn't say nothing, but they turned that club, looked a totally different person, a totally different place. So the crystal, like they had the Ace of Spades, which is Jay-Z's, the champagne. They had that, they toasted with that, and they had crystal glasses. And of course, all the leftover stuff you get to keep. So then they had his cognac. Mm-hmm. So I had several bottles of the Douce, mm-hmm. and he had that, but the bar was open. But that's not the only celebrity. That was the biggest. Yeah. That was the biggest that we had. We had the police that we had to notify to say we're keeping paparazzi out of. We having a big star here. Mm-hmm. But all the magic, anybody in Hollywood was at the party. But I couldn't even tell the staff. Yeah. I couldn't tell the staff until they just had to be in uniform and had to be there at 7. They didn't know until they got there.
That is wonderful.
And we've had others. We have other stars. They just wasn't as big or have as big a party. They come when it's just open to everybody, and they come in there and they come and have private parties. But we can turn that place to look like anything.
That is wonderful.
And it was nice. That was nice.
The one thing, because Los Angeles, as big as it is, and being the center of the entertainment world, when people come in and say, okay, I want to go out and let's go party, there is no place in Los Angeles. That has not been the case since probably 1999, and I know this personally. And so when you want to go out and just have a good time to unwind, especially for us in the Black community, there's very few places for the 45 and 50 plus over crowd. And right. So we can always depend on the Townhouse being that place. So I want to commend you for that, because every now and then you need to go out and be able to unwind a little bit and just have a good time. Roz, you are amazing. And I too went the corporate way first before I became a consultant, because I wanted to see how a business runs from the inside. And then when I'm teaching entrepreneurs, and especially my kids, because I teach a biz camp for children every summer, I encourage them to go to college. I encourage them to work for a corporation for at least 5 to 10 years, so that they get but go in as a student. Don't go in just as an employee. Go in as a student to embrace all that you can acquire. Plus, they'll pay for new skills that you skills that you need, and then come out and start your own business.
Yes,
and that way you have a different view of what a business is supposed to look like from the inside out, as opposed from the outside in.
I was looking at a thing on, I don't know if it was Facebook, or it was on LinkedIn yesterday, and George Clinton actually went to his elementary school and had his 80th birthday there, right? And I'm saying that to say, I'm a Funketeer. I am a Funketeer. And so the Townhouse gives me that opportunity, as Crystal just said. It gives me, it's right in my backyard. I don't have to go to the West Side. I can go where the music is always perfect. You have an indelible way of picking the right DJs, the music, you've remodeled the place. The food is good. We just want to entreat you. So we wanted to invite you on the community briefing so people could hear your story and understand the struggles that you've had to sustain something in our community. I've lived in my house for 41 years. There's always been a club up there because it was called King X or something like that.
Right? That's where it started.
However, what you've done with that space and how you remodeled the space, and I don't think people have been in there to see the investment that you've made on that corner. Thank you.
And it's still a lot. And I thank you guys for having me on definitely to talk with the townhouse, but just to share some of the other things. But it may seem like this route, I've been out here for 46 years, and it may seem like it's been just as smooth. It's been rough. I had black hair. For the last 15, but I've had white hair for the last 15 years. This is a struggle. And starting your business is not easy because you got everything. So it's not easy. So anything that you can do to prepare. I like what you said, Crystal, about being, if you can get into corporate first, where you could see how they do and what good things they do, what bad things it is, and then what things you want to do when you're out on your own. And people think, I just want to work for myself. It ain't that easy taking on all the responsibility. I want to work for somebody else, but know the things that I know. Because you don't have to have the taxes, the sales tax, a city tax, a property tax. Yeah, like you got everything on there on you. When it's not just making the money, everybody. They look and see the crowd that's out there, but you're looking at the staff, the payroll alone took care of that day's money that you barely broke even.
Right. Exactly.
The inventory.
Yeah.
So it's a lot when you're doing it, and it's ways that people try to get slick. I don't care what kind of business you're in, especially in a cash business. It's ways that they get slick. And like my accountant told me, when you first start, you always need an accountant and a lawyer on retainer.
No question.
But he told me, in a cash business, they're always going to steal. They're going to find you. You correct that. He said, you set up checks and balances, they'll find a way around it. He said, but the thing to do is to minimize it and know when they do it.
Yeah.
So that you can change and try to adjust for that.
Yes.
It's there. It's going to be a struggle, but I think the rewards are far reaching when you do it and you utilize the resources. So it's going to be pretty good when I do retire for real.
Really? You're right. There's no retirement in our community. Constance, so this Roz has elevated the support of our organizations, and she obviously has been an amazing client for yourself and for Emma. You have any comments you'd like to?
Sure. Thank you, Crystal. And thank you, Roz, for mentioning us. I think that Roz and the team has covered a lot. And there's a phrase that I mess up all the time, and it's stay ready, be ready, or get ready and stay ready. I always mess that up. Robin, which one is it?
It's stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
There you go. That's it. And there's so many resources. Michelle Bell told me that she also had used our services, and we're happy about that. All of our services are free, from accessing how to get funding, from accessing how to get certified to do business, from participating in over 40 topics in our on-demand platform, which are available to you at your leisure. So if you're a 2 o'clock in the morning type person and you want to take a class at that time, you can do that. Let's see, we've got some more programs that we're starting that should be announced very soon. We're always adding staff because we're growing tremendously. And I'm happy to be here. And thank you for community briefing.
Thank you. Thank you. Roz, you are a stellar student. That's what I'll say.
I like Emma to jump in here too, because again, as she said, she's been working with Emma when she was at Golden State Water, and now Emma's with the SBA.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. And Roz, you are amazing. Not only is Roz a professional business person, she's a great friend. She inspired me. She actually tutored me in a lot of ways. So I thank you for everything you do. And it's very true. We try to meet once a month, and I can never get there on time because I will work with anyone that have an SBA issue. They call me anytime, day and night. I'm always available to talk to you. We have an array of programs. I really want you guys to get involved. My colleague is on the line, and she mentioned the Ascent program that we're offering is free, it's online, but I also teach it to a group of people every Sunday evening from 2 to 4. And it's free. And I do it as a group because it's better to get everyone involved and they can ask questions and get information that a lot of times you don't want to take the time to read everything that's out there. So we work as a group. So we have so many programs that the SBA can offer you. I'm working with PCR. We have a calendar of events that we're going to be doing between now and the end of the year and many of the women's centers. So if you take advantage and be like Roz, she gets in every training class, even though she's been there before, she'll come back. And thank you for your support. And I guarantee you'll get something out of it to help and grow your business. So thank you. And thank you, Roz, so much.
Before we close out, I just dropped some information in the chat box. The supply diversity director at MGM Grand she's pulling together mentees for a cohort that they're pulling together. And I dropped her information in the chat box. This is open to business owners who have revenues over $1 million. So, if you're not quite there, you still want to apply. To me, you always apply and let them tell you no. Right. Because they may see something in you that allows them to bring you along. So take advantage of that. But more importantly, to Roz's point, if you do not have a SBDC and a CDIF partner in your business plan, run quickly and get that. Right. Because those are the resources that are out there that can help vet you, get you contract ready, tell you, look at your capability statement and all of your other tools and bells and whistles that you're putting out there to let you know, are you contract ready and where your deficiencies are, and or how to better tell your story so that you qualify, so that you're qualified to be looked at as a supplier.
Awesome. You guys are incredible. Constance and Emma, I'm going to send you guys this link so that y'all can put this up as a testimony to how these services work. So I will be doing that later on today or by tomorrow. And so using Roz, you're awesome. And I'm glad I learned so much more about you than the fact that you just over there leasing out the townhouse. Now but I think we need to make sure that we get all of this wonderful information encapsulated on LinkedIn. So
I have to go back and do that. I need to do that.
Yeah, because it's so important for our community to know that we have successful businesses in our community. Everyone is always saying, everybody's just hanging on by a string and in our business community, and that's not true. We do have some real stars in our community, and it's excellent that everyone gets to know who you are and they will appreciate your business that much more. And so thank you very much. Greg, do you want to tell us who our guest is next week?
Certainly.
Okay.
So next week we have March 31st, we have Jackie Broxton, and she's the executive director of the Biddy Mason Charitable Foundation, an extension of First AME Church. And the Charitable Foundation is raising money and providing programs for women coming out of the foster youth program. They have a home or a facility now over on 24th Street, just off of Western. And they have fundraising, and they also are generating money for scholarships. So they're doing wonderful things, and she's going to join us next week. Y'all come back and check out what's happening with Biddy Mason. Rosalind, thank you so much for joining us today. And I'm definitely going to get me one of them turkey burgers.
In just a few minutes. And now we have the real Richard Piley and Kimberly. Thank you, guys. It's been awesome.
How you
Thank
doing,
you
Richard?
all for being here, Richard, Bianca, Kim,
Bianca.
Lee, all of you. Thank you so much for participating in the
Leon
community
Gordon
briefing.
joined us, yeah.
And so, join us again next week. Hey, hello.
Sure.
And I've actually popped into the townhouse and saw the power ladies over there having a power lunch. Didn't know what I was walking into, but now I know.
Guys, that information that I put in the MGM, I also put my contact information. If that link doesn't work, hit me up on email and I can forward it to you, okay? Because again, this is one of my colleagues. I've been working with them for many years. And she, again, this is how we get paid, right? So we can help each other. And that again, that's what the community briefing is all about. Finding opportunity, finding the resources so that we all can get paid.
All right, I like that.
And a reminder,
idea.
you can get that information saved in the chat. There's 3 little dots to the right of the smiley face, and you can save the chat to your computer, so that way you don't have to worry about trying to copy it down. You can store it. So
Learn something new every day.
Every day.
Well,
Always.
another thing is too, I just tried that link that I just dropped in for MGM and it's working. It'll take you directly to the application.
All righty, and then the whole chat goes on to the YouTube, the edited copy of this episode, and so all the chat information will be there as well on YouTube. Want to thank you all. Make sure you tell a friend. Come back next week and share the video out there when you guys see the link. I will try to tag the ones that I am friends with on Facebook, so that way it'll show up on your page as well. So thank you guys. Have a great week. Make sure that we continue to rise up. Judge Jackson Brown, is that it? Jackson Brown. But anyway, she needs us to stand up for her, ladies, because even when she gets in there, she gonna have a struggle with what we're dealing with today. So I've never heard so many asinine questions in my whole entire life yesterday. I didn't even know that was possible for a group of people to go even lower than they have, but they managed to do that. So thank you guys. See you guys next week. Oh, on the Business Zone this Friday, we have Miss Karen Blackwell. She's gonna be a guest. For all of you know, she's gonna talk about her journey. And so check us out 3:00 streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, the Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. So we will see you guys next week. Be safe out there, and we will see you next Thursday, same time, same back channel. Bye everyone.
Thank you.
At the townhouse.
And the townhouse. Go get that turkey burger.
Cocktail too.
And a cocktail too.